we are going to discuss about the data collection. First of all, what do you mean by data? Data is the collection of information or information binding is called the data. Then data collection. The data collection is the fact-finding inquiry. Then methods of data collection. The methods of data collection are classified into two types: the primary data and secondary data. Primary data is the first-hand or original information. The researcher collects the primary data for the specific requirements and need. That's called the primary data. And secondary data is a already recorded information. The researcher collects sufficient information from the secondary data. Then sources of data collection. Sources of data collection is classified into two types: primary sources and secondary sources. Primary sources are classified into three types: observation method, the interview method, then mail questionnaire. Observation method. Without asking any questions, the researcher to the respondent only collects the information through the action and reaction. That's called the observation method. Advantages of observation method. Observation method is an independent method. We collect the accuracy of information obtained what is currently happening. Then limitation of observation method. The limitation of observation method, it's one of the expensive method. Limited information we gather. That's called the limitation of the observation method. Then interview method. Interview method are classified into two types: personal interview and telephone interview. Personal interview means a person, the researcher and respondent, face-to-face oral conversation through the structured question to collect required information. That's called a personal interview. Then the advantages of personal interview. They have a lot of advantages in the personal interview. That means the more information can be collected, depth information can be collected, greater flexibility under the method restructured for this question. Personal information can as well as be obtained easily from the personal interview method. Then limitations of the personal interview method. A very expensive method. It is an only low-level people we can meet. The higher official and executive we not easily approach and collect information. That's also one of the limitation. Then the personal interview method is also time-consuming and expensive method. So it's all the limitations of the personal interview. Then telephone interview. Telephone interview means the researcher through telephone to collect structured questions, the information from the respondent. That's called the interview method. Then the telephone method, they are not able to face-to-face oral conversation. Then advantages of the advantages of this method: more information can be collected, depth information can be collected. It is a greater flexibility method because we are the researcher sitting in the same place to reach the many respondents at a time, and many information can be obtained. So it's also one of the most flexible and advantage in the telephone interview. Then disadvantages. It's also we are not able to, the researcher not able to easily and correct time to the respondent through the telephone. It's also one of the major drawbacks or limitations. Then questionnaire method. In this method, the set of questions are mailed to the respondent. They should read, reply and substantially return the questionnaire. The questions are printed in the defined order in the form. The advantages of mail questionnaire: low cost even when the universe is large, widely widely spread and collected information. Respondent can also reach conveniently. Large sample can be obtained and used. Disadvantages of the mail questionnaire method: the low rate of questionnaires are returned because the respondents all respondents are not returned to the questionnaire and return the questionnaires in not a proper manner. This is also a limitation. Then only educated people respond and cooperating for this method. Otherwise the slow response or low response likely in this method. Then omission of reply allow the certain questions. Then secondary sources. The secondary sources are classified into two types: the internal sources and external sources. Internal sources is the within the organization records. The external sources is a government, published and unpublished record also. They are covered in this secondary data. Thank you.